I did get a spoiler about him.
Oh.
Real quick, brief spoiler.
Okay.
Stank, put up a time code.
Okay. Is it that he dies?
Does he?
I'm not going to tell you the answer. You're going to have to oscillate between whether or not I'm fucking with you or not.
I don't know if Dandadan's a show where people die. Here's my prediction. One person will die, and it'll be crazy sad. It'll be like an Ace situation, you know? Where, like, no one really dies. No main character dies, and then there's one that does, and no one shuts up about it ever again. Anyway.
No one ever does shut up about Ace's death. My God,
No
they
one.
bring that shit up all the time.
I know.
And the thing is, Ace isn't even really a character until, like, fucking Alabasta, and even then he's barely a character after it.
I mean, Naruto's like that, too. To a lesser extent, because people don't care as much, but with Neji.
With Neji?
Yeah. No one dies in Naruto except Neji. Well, Jiraiya's the one. You're right. That's
they bring
the
up
ace.
Jiraiya a whole lot more
That's
than
the ace.
Asuma sometimes. No, I don't really talk about Asuma that much. They bring him back to life. That's about it.
Yeah. I get...
Wait, where's the spoiler you have?
Anyway, my spoiler, which is still happening. I saw his form. GG's demon form. It's cool.
It's fucking sick.
And you know what's funny?
It's a fucking Rinnegan.
I'd seen it before too, because I like just on for a while actually, like my Instagram like suggestion feed would just be like panels from Dandadan and people being like, "This anime is gonna be crazy."
So that's fused Momoshiki, right?
Wow, that is just him.
Isn't it spot on?
Yeah, that's just him.
Yeah.
He also looks like Devilman Crybaby.
A little bit, yeah.
All right. Anyway, the spoiler's done. I'm doing this. I should have said for the live people, I'll do this when it's done so you can unmute.
Scoop-a-doop.
Anyway.
I mean, it's his form. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Anyway, no more spoiler. So that I'm excited for that. I'm wondering. Well, we're out of spoilers. So anyway,
What?
wondering what color it'll be. You know.
I'm wondering if
Don't
we're going to
spoil.
get it this season. I'm wondering if I don't know if we're getting 12 or 24 episodes. If we're only
12, I believe.
Then we're not going to see it.
It's weird. I smelled. Now we're only getting 12. Let me just check. Dun, 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 dun,
Because
dun.
if we're only getting 12, honestly, I don't listen. I think this is one of those, you know how like sometimes an anime will drop the first 3 episodes because they believe the first 2 episodes don't necessarily stand alone on their own. It's like you need to watch all 3 to fully like to get hooked into this anime kind of thing. I don't think Dandadan's first 12 episodes do enough to genuinely drum up the hype for Dandadan in the way I believe they should be. I think Ira's backstory is really compelling, but like out of that, like outside of like Ira's backstory, what's an episode from this season you genuinely were like, that stood out to me as like really, really, really good content?
I think every episode has been phenomenal.
All of it is very good, but like I don't know, like I want Dandadan to be like the #1 anime on earth, right? And like I can't think of a moment like. Honestly, like if I think about like the first season of JJK, there's like Mai shooting like the Nen bullet and Maki like slicing it in half. There's the Hanami fight. There's so many things from the first season of like JJK where it's like, oh, this is gonna cement this as the #1 manga for a while.
Well, the problem with Dandadan opposed to Chainsaw Man, JJK, like My Hero, stuff like that, is in this first chunk.
Yeah.
If and when this season ends at episode 12, which I do feel like it's like. It doesn't feel very climactic right now, you know? When it ends, there's not a lot for me to like chew on and be excited for in the future. Opposed to like Chainsaw Man, we get introduced to tons of characters.
It is only gonna be 12.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like the dude who trains Denji in power.
Yeah.
We get introduced to like a lot of the
Katana Man.
What are they called? What are the hunters or killers or whatever they're called? Like
Devil Hunters?
Yeah, devil hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get introduced to the angel devil, the shark devil, all these guys that we get like a little snippet of where I'm like, I can't wait to see all these characters. And then I can also be like, oh man, what are some other fears? Like, you know, like the darkness devil. What is that? People are afraid of the dark. And like, I know like the falling devil and this and that. What?
How do you know about all this?
Just listing fears. But I know about the You are such a yapper. That's how I know about this shit.
How do you know about that?
What?
What do you know? What do you know, Dad?
I know that there's like 4 super primordial devils or whatever, primeval devils.
Primal, please.
Yeah, primal, and they're like the big bads.
Three? 3?
If it's not 4, it's because you were wrong.
I can't think of the fourth one. Can I say them out loud? How about you say them out loud?
Falling, death.
Yeah.
That's why?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. I forgot about death. I forgot the concept
Imagine
of death.
forgetting about death.
Yeah.
The rich man's burden.
Only while we film this.
But, yeah, I was also partly rattling off fears. But the point is that, like, even if I didn't know about that, it's like the devil system is that they're all based on fears.
Yes.
And the stronger and more popular the fear, the stronger the devil. There's, the gun devil. I've seen, because I've been to conventions, I've seen the bomb devil.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I've been to gun conventions, so I understand how scary they can
yeah.
be.
No, like, I've seen the bomb devil, but it's like, if I never knew about
Great
that,
cosplay.
I could be like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
If I never knew about that, I could be like, oh man, like, fucking, this is a Japanese show. Obviously, there's like bomb trauma embedded in it. I bet there's going to be a bomb devil. Like, that would be sick.
Gotcha.
Hiroshima.
The nuke. Yeah.
Or here's one I don't know about. The ocean is a popular fear. The ocean devil seems cool. There's all shit like that on top of the guys we've already seen.
Yeah.
That has me like, I'd go to the playground if I was a kid and be like, yo, what would be the strongest devil, do you think? Probably the death devil. Everyone's afraid of death. Yeah, but like, some people accept it. Like, no one accepts, like, fire. Like, the fire devil is scary, but we use fire for that. Like, there's nothing like that with Dandadan.
Yeah.
My Hero is like that, where you get this whole crazy cast. Season 1, you don't get to see a lot of the side characters.
But they build out, in My Hero, they build out like a villain syndicate with the League of Villains, right?
Yeah, there's like stuff to chew on post-episode.
Yeah.
Even Hell's Paradise. Tau is a cool power system to be like...
But there's also a goal in mind. Like, we have
a goal.
to clear this island.
Yeah, with Dandadan, every episode, I'm like... The plot could be over right now, and I wouldn't blame it. Like,
hey, buddy.
Yep.
Never changes.
Well, it's like every episode I'm like, what's gonna happen when they get the balls? Like, then what? And then every episode I'm like, there's not really a power system. It's just like he has Turbo Granny, so that's his power.
Yeah.
But there's not like what would happen if this character got this demon,
That's very fair. I never really thought about it like that because and I'm not going to spoil anything here, but like there's not necessarily at any point an overarching theme that presents itself in Dandadan.
Yeah.
Like there isn't a power system or anything. Like there's no, like, it's just like, oh, you guys, like, it's not even ever really established why Okarun and Momo and Ira like have such high levels of spiritual energy. Like they're just like kind of like people who like are in tune with the spirits and therefore like naturally have an insane amount of spiritual energy. And then like they get powerful as time goes on, but it's never necessarily established like, oh, here's why that happens. So like not a lot of lore is ever really established, and every single arc is episodic in a sense. Like it's like completely detached from previous arcs. And that's kind of its strength because, at least from the manga perspective, like every single arc, you can expect something vastly different.
That's
and
fair.
It's like they also, like I've touched on it 1,000 times. Dandadan is every genre. It's isekai, it's shonen, it's like there's shoujo aspects. Like there's so many different things that occur during Dandadan that like take it into like any kind of manga enjoyer's like backyard.
Yeah.
But yes, from like look, when you're only waiting a week for a new chapter, it's not that bad. But when you're waiting for like a year to be like, oh, I forgot what's happening with Dandadan, and I'm so excited for what exactly?
Yeah.
And it's kind of just going to be like Gigi's backstory. Like we've now broken down, like in the first 11 episodes, we've completed the first arc. Gigi being introduced kind of starts the second arc. And we're just going to like, with the episode 12, which comes out the 19th, we're going to get that. And then like the cliffhanger is going to be like, oh, next arc's coming.
Yeah, it is to its strength, you're right, where it's like the episodic nature and the high budget makes it so that like we don't have to wait, like Dragon Ball Daima. We don't have to wait for like 12 episodes of build-up before we get a cool episode. Yeah. With Dandadan, it's like every other episode is either like a romance one or they're fighting like a god tier enemy already. Yeah. Like the big Loch Ness monster thing.
Yeah, Nessie.
Was like a crazy god tier guy. And then the mantis shrimp who can like shoot flashes of himself was crazy. So it's like it does feel like we're skipping fluff to get to just the good stuff, and that's what's to be excited
Yeah,
about.
because nothing has to be built up, right?
Yeah.
No pre-existing lore has to be there in order for you to be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I couldn't have like I wouldn't have understood what was going on without this.
Yeah.
Like it's so base level in terms of a plot that you never have to worry about like, oh, we need to politic and sit around for 3 episodes to establish like this arc we're trying to build up to.
And that's good, but at the same time, other than, yo, that episode was crazy, wasn't it? Once you're done talking about a specific episode, there's no discussion to be had about Don to Don, really. Like, even JJK, which season 1, I'm not into at all. They go to the other school. They meet they do the Naruto thing, where they meet a bunch of characters, and you're like, what's their ability? That guy's a panda, and he's got 4 hearts?
Yeah.
This dude can clap. Like, JJK's power system and powers are so creative. You can yap about it for so long.
Yeah.
And this doesn't have that.
That's actually really fair. I never really thought about it like that. Like, yeah, like I can't be like, oh, like I can talk about like the strongest abilities, but I can't tell you why they're the strongest abilities. I can just say like, oh, they were able to beat the biggest and the baddest. Like that's kind of it.
This doesn't even really have like merchability.
No.
Like JJK, everyone's in the same uniform. Like My Hero has really iconic character designs.
Yeah.
This art style I love, and the mangaka's an incredible artist.
So good.
But if I'm like designing merch for this, I feel like I'm racking my brain. Chainsaw Man's also kind of got that issue. I love what everyone. I like the button up. I love the suit and tie fit.
Devil Hunters.
In terms of watching it, I love that. In terms of like, oh, am I gonna go out and get Chainsaw Man art? No, it all looks the same.
That's fair.
You know, like everyone's wearing the same thing.
Or
Everyone.
it's Denji with his chainsaws.
It's just Denji standing there with chainsaws. Like
Yeah.
there's not enough breadth in terms of like creativity with how they look.
It's kind of fair. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that. Like, I guess like with Danzadon, not right now at least, but like Danzadon does do the thing. It never does it like the Kyoto School or like the Sand Siblings thing where like, oh, hey, there's a bunch of new characters now. It's just a slow but sure like acquirement of characters.
Yeah.
Like currently in the story right now, there's like 5 or 6 main characters.
Yeah.
So like it's just like every single arc, a new character is introduced, and that new character kind of joins the found family.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters that kind of join the found family, how'd you feel about Taro's story?
Who?
The Taro is the anatomical bot.
Oh.
That fucking they flew.
I like when he breaks apart and he goes
Yeah.
combine. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was like it excited me. First off, ISA just back to her old bitchy self.
Oh yeah.
This poor guy.
Why?
She's just punching his heart.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. But like that's like
I was like, this dude's literally just out on a run. Like,
yeah, but she thought she has one of Okarun's balls trying to get to him.
it was fine. It didn't really make me emotional. I liked it in the fact that I think it's gonna kick Okarun into gear of being like, I'm done with this like ooh shit. I do like her. I want to date her. I'm done like tiptoeing around it, and that's cool.
I was like, I always thought that was such like a fun twist. Like, oh, like fucking he's running around. Like, why is this anatomical doll sprinting through? And it's like, oh, because his other older version like partner got thrown out.
Yeah.
So now his girlfriend is like part of the found family. So like I don't know if it was displayed in this episode, but like she goes to Psycho's house basically. And like
It definitely wasn't. So these are spoilers.
yeah, okay. But like it's not like an important part of the story by any means, but like she like it's like that's a good example of like, oh, like the like new characters are going to be added to Psycho's house constantly, which is a lot of fun. I thought this episode it definitely wasn't the best looking episode of Dawn to Dawn. Like I was not super impressed with the visuals, but it was a pretty cool usage of like POV.
There wasn't anything that like needed to impress me, you know, like there were cool bits where they're like on the roof and the shingles are flying off and they're running, but it was like a tame episode. It's just Gigi being a fucking guy. Hate him.
Did you notice you watched the dub, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice like the Taro's voice actor has a check, like his lights are about to be turned off or something because he was fucking acting.
I think he's the guy who plays Riz in
really?
Beastars and Kunikita in what's it called? He's great. Yeah, he knows how to scream. He was freaking out the whole time.
He was.
He needed a check.
He did, dude. He was working for that. Oh, nope. It's Tomokazu Sugita in Japanese. I guess I should have looked up English.
Oh, Drew, I meant to ask you about this. Did you do your homework from last week? No. Sounds like no. Despite you apparently having all the time in the world and 1,000 hours in Marvel Rivals.
I watched Inglourious Bastards instead.
Yeah,
I watched the 3-hour fucking Tarantino movie about killing Nazis. Oh, man.
I know you're bragging about your free time.
But what about Arrivederci? Have you considered Arrivederci?
Arrivederci.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, I love Buongiorno.
Yeah, I love Brad Pitt's so good in that kind of movie. He's so good.
Grazie.
What?
Grazie.
Grazie. I fucking love him. All right, but that's all we got from Don Dinon, which brings us to... Wait, is that everything?
Yeah.
Was Don Dinon our big... That was our big thing? Oh, yeah.
I can't believe we don't have a game. I miss it. We have so many games lately.
We never... No, yeah, you're right. We never ranked the Arcane Men. You want it?
We might as well. The longer we wait.
You want to rank the Arcane Men?
Yeah.
You can rank the Arcane Men.
Get me 10 Arcane boys.
Oh.
Also, in terms of
How about we
like,
do men? Yeah.
how about you knew what I meant?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna look up hottest Arcane Men.
Dude, I could rattle them off right now.
Well, okay, yeah, but let me do it. All right.
All right.
Oh, come on. There's got to be like a fucking CBR article about this. Come on.
I fucking hate CBR, but you're right.
I mean, is that not the fucking most CBR ass article you could ever imagine? All right.
You're right.
I'm just looking up arcane male characters. There's too many men. That's the issue. There's no goddamn women in this story. Why, when I look up arcane male characters, Jinx and Caitlyn are the first two people who come up?
Let's go.
Just because they're lesbian or lesbian coded does not mean that they are men.